Hi there, welcome along. It's the Racing Post Football Postcast. Bruce Millington, Liam Flynn and Dan Childs. It's international weekend. It's the final international break for quite a while actually, and it is also the culmination of the Euro 2020 qualifying process. So a lot of competitive games, a lot of questions to be answered. Actually, I say competitive games, chaps, because we've got 25 qualifiers taking place on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Only 5 don't have an odds-on favourite. So people will be looking probably to perm some of the short prices in their ACCAs, but there are some competitive games as well. Before we get stuck into the individual games, let's look at Paddy Power's latest prices, just so we can get a taste of how the outright picture is developing. France are 100 to 30, it's 4 to 1 England, 11 to 2 Belgium, 8 Germany, 8 Spain, 8 the Netherlands, 10 Italy, 12 Portugal, and then it's 25 Croatia and 50 to 1 Bar. So chaps, I think the teams that have already qualified, Belgium, Italy, Russia, Poland, Ukraine and Spain. If you're having a new bet now, Liam, on who's going to win this tournament next summer, who would you go for?
I'd actually go for the Netherlands. I think at 8 to 1, you said they're same price as Spain and Germany. Of those three, at that price, I think they represent the best value. Obviously got an excellent defensive base with Van Dijk and Matthijs de Ligt, who's improving at Juventus. One issue I've had with them in the past is going forwards, but now they've got this youngster, Donyell Malen, who's looking superb in Eredivisie, top scorer in that division this season. And then they've got Frankie de Jong, who kind of knits it all together in holding midfield. The progress to the Nations League final showed that they're a team on the up. And they haven't had it easy in their qualifying groups for Euro 2020, having obviously Germany and a very stubborn Northern Ireland side in there. So I think, they're the value going forwards into next summer's tournament.
And how about you, Dan?
I like Holland. I mean, I'm keen on a bit of value, actually, because you think back to the last Euro finals and you got Iceland got through to the quarterfinals, Wales were in the semi-finals. Yeah. So, you do get kind of, teams sometimes from outside that top bracket. So I think there's worth looking down the list. Portugal, I thought 12 to 1. I mean, they're the holders. They won the Nations League. And you look at the squad, and it's less Ronaldo reliant than it has been for a while. You've João Felix, Atletico paid over £100 million pounds for him in the summer. You've got Bruno Fernandes at Sporting, who a lot of big clubs were chasing him in the summer. Bernardo Silva as well. A lot of quality there. I would say they're better placed than they were when they won it. So that looks big to me at 12 to 1. And right further down the list, I just thought, I watched the Czech Republic-England game, and I know you shouldn't go too much on one game, but I was impressed by how they played in that game, the Czech Republic. They're 150 to 1. And when you're talking about how Iceland did and how Wales did at big prices, and you look through the squad, 7 of them play for Slavia Prague. Now, Slavia Prague, I've watched them in the...
They were brilliant against Barcelona. We talked about that last week.
Quite a bit against Barcelona. They've given Barcelona 2 really good games, the narrow 1-0 at home and the 0-0 at Camp Nou. And they were also excellent in the game away to Inter earlier in the group. So the evidence is building that this is probably a better group of Czech Republic players than maybe they're being given credit for. 150 to 1 looks a bit overpriced to me.
Interesting. They're finalists in Euro 96,
yeah.
Of course, weren't they?
Yeah.
OK, chaps, let's get stuck into the matches. The first batch take place on Thursday, and where else to focus our attention but England's 1,000th international. It's against Montenegro at Wembley, and it's on ITV4. England are 1 to 25 to win it. It's 11 to 1 the draw, and Montenegro 35 to 1 to cause an upset. Liam, despite the fact that there's been a few tremors and a few ructions in the England camp, you'd have to expect that they will get the job done. So where is the betting value here?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it will be quite a routine win. I like the look of England to win and over 3.5 goals. I think they can, about 5 to 6, I think they can chalk up a pretty comprehensive win. It's their 1,000th game. They'll qualify for Euro 2020 with a draw, so it should be a buoyant atmosphere at Wembley. I expect a similar performance to their 5-1 demolition in the reverse fixture. They responded to the Czech Republic defeat with a 6-0 mauling of Bulgaria. Obviously, there's no Raheem Sterling, but I think in this kind of game that doesn't really matter because England have a lot of attacking players who can come in.
Who will that front three be, do you think?
I think Rashford, Kane and Sancho, probably. I also think because Henderson's out of this one.
Yeah,
so
he's suspended, yeah.
I expect James Maddison could get a chance to make his debut, and obviously we know what he's been doing at Leicester. He's an extraordinary player. So England don't have to worry about lacking quality in the final third. 26 goals, 6 matches during this qualifying process. 14 of those have come at home. And Montenegro, they've had a bit of an injury crisis during this qualifying campaign. No Stefan Savic, key defender for them. Stefan Jovetic, former Manchester City forward. And another defender, Adam Murasic, who's also been out. So they're weak at the back, and England have been very, very strong going forwards.
Dan, quick word before you give us your best bets on the Sterling Joe Gomez ruck. Do you think that will cause any? Will that affect the game in any way?
No, not particularly, because they're such a weak opponent. Montenegro, they've declined, a great deal, I think, over the last few years, and I just think that it's actually a reasonable opportunity for Southgate to impose a little bit of discipline. If there was, he obviously feels it was a major enough incident to do so, and you can get away with doing that now. It's not going to affect England's qualification, and maybe mean there's a little bit more of a stable ship going forward to the bigger games in the future.
Okay, so where's the value here, Dan?
I'm going to go. I'll just take a pot shot. England 4-0 at 6-1. I'm a bit more comfortable with that than taking the odds on. Not knowing quite how well England are going to function without such a key attacker. But I think that the weakness is with their defence. Montenegro, Savic is a big miss for them. I looked at the amount of caps that they've got at the back, and most of them are players are single figures in the Montenegro squad, conceding a lot of goals in the group. Obviously lost 5-1 at home to England in the reverse fixture. And they've got their main front two, Fatos Bekiraj, is back in the squad, wasn't in the squad last month. He plays with Stefan Mugoza, they've both got 9 goals at international level, so not an insignificant threat. But can you really? They've scored 3 goals, Montenegro, in the whole group so far. I think unlikely they're probably going to score here. So England 4-0 for me.
Okay, I've got a quick trivia question for you. Peter Shilton, obviously England's most capped goalkeeper in those 1,000 internationals. He's played 125 of them. Which 2 players are the second most capped goalkeepers for England?
Struggling bit. Clement's had a lot of games, but I don't think he's probably in that.
Clements.
No. Oh, Gordon Banks would be one. No. Oh.
No, you'd think, wouldn't you?
Blimey.
2 of them on 75. David Seaman and Joe Hart.
God.
Only one goalkeeper has played more games for England than Joe Hart. Isn't that incredible? Okay, let's look at Saturday's key qualifiers next.
I'm Jose Mourinho. I know a thing or two about being special. Football pundits who actually understand management, special. Winning the daily jackpot on Paddy Power games, not special.
Understood, Jose. Yes, someone wins an average £40,000 jackpot every single day. So if you win, don't think you're special. Daily Jackpots by Paddy Power Games. Jackpots must be awarded by 11 p.m. and vary from day to day. Jackpot is shared with other operators. Available on selected games. T's and C's at paddypower.com. 18+ BeGambleAware.org.
Welcome back. Let's look at Saturday's key Euro 2020 qualifiers involving some of the nations closest to our shores. We'll start with Northern Ireland versus the Netherlands in Group C. The situation here is that Northern Ireland need to win both their final games and hope their rivals drop points. Dan, they've done quite well to stay on the coattails of their group rivals because it's a really tough draw, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
But the fact is they're 7-1 with Paddy Power to beat the Netherlands, who are 4-11 favourites. It's 16-5 the draw. The atmosphere will be pumping over at Windsor Park, but can they get anything out of this?
I think they're unlikely to get anything out of it. Another thing worth mentioning, it'd probably be Michael O'Neill's last home game in charge. He's agreed to stay on as long as they're still in the Euros. He's actually said he'll do the finals if they get there, but it's looking extremely unlikely now. They were close to getting that magnificent result away to Holland, weren't they? Where they led quite late on and then conceded the 3 late goals. I just feel that what they did show in that game and in the game against Germany, the 2 tough games, they were quite prepared to go and attack and take a chance. Obviously, now they're in an even more of a must-win situation. They're going to be even more positive. So that's why that leads on to my selection. Holland to win and both teams to score at 12-5 looks a bet to me. You look at the Ireland squad and you always think, where's the threat going to come from? But they do play a very positive, expansive, aggressive style of football, Northern Ireland. And Holland didn't look watertight in the reverse fixture. I just think they're going to have too much firepower. Overall, Memphis Depay, 19 goals and 51 internationals, has really taken his game on again since he's gone to Lyon. Now being looked at apparently by some bigger clubs. He could be the key for them.
You still going with Holland, Dan?
Yeah.
I've made the switch. I've recently made the switch. Are you Netherlands? Well, you're very European, aren't you? You're a multilingual polyglot. You are. Yeah, no, I just basically, someone showed me a map of it, and Holland doesn't cover the whole country. So I've gone with Netherlands. Right, are you going to go in Netherlands here?
I'm not actually. I think they will win, but I like the look of their first goal scorer in this one. I think firstly, just to say, I think there's probably Johnny Evans has come out and said there's a bit of confusion in the Northern Ireland squad at the moment with this whole Michael O'Neill dual managerial responsibility situation.
Well, it's not that hard, is it?
No, well, yeah. I think it's just a bit uncertainty of where sort of O'Neill's sort of responsibilities lie at the moment. But ultimately, they're still a very defensive, tactically disciplined side, and I think they'll make it difficult. I think the Netherlands will probably view this more as a must not lose and a must win, just because obviously we know it's unlikely Northern Ireland are going to qualify. But if they do lose this game, then it certainly does maybe put an element of pressure onto them. But with that in mind, I think I'd avoid the results markets and instead go for a first goal scorer. Huge fan of the winger Quincy Promes, who plays on the left-hand side of the Dutch attack, averaging a goal every 122 minutes for Ajax in the Eredivisie this season, 8 goals, 3 assists in the league, and he absolutely loves to cut inside and has shots from distance, which in what could be quite a tight and congested game, I think that could be a way to look at.
Can you spell his name for me?
Yeah, QUINCYPROMES.
Okay,
Quincy
lovely.
Promes, I think that's
I think
right.
one thing just quickly worth mentioning as well for this game is that it's not just that they've got to win the game, they're probably going to have to win it by a couple of goals, because even if they won both these games and Holland and Germany do what they should do, beat the lesser teams in the group, it'll go down to head-to-heads, and they've lost 3-1 in Holland, so you need a 2-0 win to actually get above that. So
okay. So Dan is going for the Netherlands to win and both teams to score, and Liam is going for Quincy Promes. Don't forget, if you fancy those or any other tips that the guys put up today, it's the final day of Responsible Gambling Week. We've been delighted to be involved in that. Do please make sure you bet sensibly and responsibly at all times. Let's look at the Group E clash next on Saturday, 7:45, Azerbaijan versus Wales. Situation with Wales is they need to win both their remaining games and hope Slovakia fail to win one of theirs. Azerbaijan are 13-2 with Paddy Power. The Welsh are 4-9 and it's 13-5 the draw. Liam, is there any value in this game?
Yeah, I think there is. I like the look of Wales to win and to get a bit more value out of it. Over 1.5 goals is 5-6, which I think is a pretty good price.
Sorry, so if you back them at 4-9, as long as they don't win 1-0, you've won. That's quite a big enhancement.
Essentially, yeah, exactly, yeah. Okay. So, that's the way I'd look at it. And they have to go into both of these games playing on the front foot. There's no good now thinking we can take a point away. They have to play on the front foot. Huge boost for them is that Aaron Ramsey is expected to make his first appearance of the campaign. And Gareth Bale should be involved in Baku, despite having not played for Real Madrid for a month. Spanish media are very riled up about this because there's kind of this idea that he's been saving himself for Wales, essentially. But we know how important he is to them. They've had some hard-fought draws recently with Croatia and Slovakia, but they have attacking weapons in Bale, Dan James, who should be in the fold for this game, and Aaron Ramsey to see off Azerbaijan, who they beat 2-1 in the reverse fixture. And Azerbaijan have just had an absolute torrid campaign. They've drawn 1 and lost 5 of their 6 qualifiers. So I think Wales to win them over 1.5 goals.
I'll tell you what, Dan, they've got some talent. They're arguably a stronger squad now than when they got to semi-finals 4 years ago, aren't they?
Yeah, I think potentially they are, but I don't know. I've watched a lot of their matches live, and I don't think they're realising that potential at the moment. And I watched their game against Azerbaijan in Cardiff, and I'll tell you what, that was a tight game. Azerbaijan played quite well in that match. One of the defenders and the goalkeeper had a mix-up, terrible mistake for the first Welsh goal, responded well, equalised, and Bale took an 84th minute winner that didn't really look like it was coming when you're watching the game. So bearing that in mind, I mean, I look at some Azerbaijan, I know they've got 1 point and they're at the bottom of the group. They've actually been quite competitive in a lot of games. They've drawn 1-1 with Croatia, the 2-1 away to Wales. They lost 1-0 away to Hungary, 2-1 away to Croatia. So there's been quite a few. They've had the one shocking performance where they lost 4-0 at home to Slovakia, but they've been competitive in a lot of games. I think the double chance is worth taking on here. Azerbaijan draw double chance at 6-4. I don't think it's going to be an easy match for Wales. And how fit is Bale going to be? He's not played for a month. Who knows how fit he'll be.
OK, taking place a little earlier than that, 2 p.m. on Saturday, is the Group I clash between Cyprus and Scotland. Paddy Power bet here. This is one of the rare competitive games, very competitive. 15-8 Cyprus, 21-10 the draw, 7-5 Scotland. Dan, tell us what Scotland's qualification situation is.
Well, they've basically got to win their Nations League playoff, haven't they? I think Serbia are in there with them. They're the biggest team from that section, so you've got a chance, but they're going to have to play hell of a lot better than they have through qualifying. And
so just to reiterate, there's 10 groups, top 2 go through, and then the other 4 teams come from the Nations qualifier, which will be known round about Cheltenham time, isn't it, next year? I think it's March.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but I mean,
so can they? So this is actually meaningless for them, then, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the best they can do is finish third in the group. I mean, Belgium and Russia have absolutely, coasted this group. And for this game, the players, to me, there doesn't seem to be that much of a hunger and a desire. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just a coincidence. But the call-offs. Tierney, Arsenal asked if Tierney, would be allowed not to be called up when he's been playing for Arsenal recently. Then you got Robertson's, pulled out the squad. McTominay's pulled out. Ryan Fraser's pulled out. And they're probably 3 of the best players they've got left there in the squad. It just doesn't seem to be a lot of players, the top players there, that really want to be involved there. And the midfield's probably still their strong suit. You've got John Fleck, who's doing well at Sheffield United. John McGinn at Villa, I think, has looked quite decent. But the rest of the squad, the defence looks a lot of players with single-figure caps up front. I mean, the top scorer in the squad, Stephen Naismith, who's got 9 in 49 internationals. For this reason, because of their weakness, I'm not really that hot on Cyprus, who lost 5-0 to Russia in their last game. Have done better in other games, but I'm going to narrowly edge towards Cyprus in this game. Got a decent striker, Piros Sotirio, plays for FC Copenhagen. He's got 4 goals in his last 6 club games.
Liam, do you fancy anything in this?
I'd just have a look at both teams to score no at 5-6. There's obviously minimal incentive for both teams in this game. Essentially a friendly, really. Scotland in the League C playoff. Cyprus can't qualify. With the exception of the 6-0 win over San Marino, which I think you can probably ignore, Scotland have been pretty shy in front of goal, drawn blanks in 4 of their 8 games. Both teams did score in the reverse fixture, however. That was 1-0 until the 87th minute, until there was a couple of goals at the end of that game, and it had been a very drab game up to that point, not many clear-cut chances. So I think, punters should look to really swerve the result market and maybe go for both teams to score no in this one. OK,
let's look at the big game on Sunday, and this is fascinating. 5 p.m, Kosovo versus England. And Paddy Power's prices show that this is closer than you might have thought. Kosovo 4-1, it's 11-4 the draw, and it's 4-7 England. I tell you what, Liam, Kosovo have been a really, really bright presence in this qualifying group, haven't they? The guys who cut my hair are Kosovans, and they are so excited about them. They're absolutely superb. They've really given it a good go, haven't they? And only 4-1 to beat England shows how far they've come. Yeah,
absolutely. It's been a bit of a sort of meteoric rise for them. They've all of a sudden, the football they play has just been terrific. And for that reason, I like the look of Kosovo draw double chance in this one at 6-5, I think. England likely to have sealed qualification by this stage, with having got at least a point against Montenegro, you'd expect. I don't think Southgate will necessarily ring the changes, but I think there could be some alterations to his team for this one. Kosovo, as we've seen, there are no pushovers whatsoever in that pulsating 5-3 reverse fixture back in England. They looked absolutely terrific. They've beaten both Czech Republic and Montenegro in their last 2 home fixtures, and they'll come at England. They're not going to necessarily sit back. They like to play on the front foot. They have the players to do that. Vedat Mariki, the striker's been terrific. Milot Rashica looks really good in the Bundesliga, and Bersant Salino we know at Swansea. So they have lots of great players going forwards. Definitely any of those 3 are probably worth a look in the first goal scorer market. But I think with England already qualified, maybe a couple of changes, and with Kosovo and the confidence that they play with, I think they'd be worth a look at avoiding defeat.
OK, that's interesting, Dan. I mean, even if England have secured qualification by then, if they think they're just going to go over there and just stroll around, this lot are not going to let that happen, are they?
No, I don't think they will have that attitude, England. I mean, I think that in a funny sort of way, the Sterling situation is actually going to work against Kosovo here, isn't it? Because he's probably going to come back into the side. That's going to give England closer to a full strength attack than they otherwise might have had for this game. He probably would have started, otherwise the first game might have been rested for the second game. The one thing to mention here, the prices are going to be hugely dependent on what happens when Kosovo play away to Czech Republic in the first game. If Kosovo lose away to the Czechs, then they can't qualify. We're going into this game against England, so that's going to affect the prices a lot. I would imagine if Kosovo get a result, then the England price will drift, and in that case, do you know what, Kosovo? Liam's right. They will attack and they'll take England on. But England, I think, are very, very good on the counter-attack. That could work against Kosovo, and I think England will pick them off decent players still to come in. Abraham will want to make his mark, coming into the international side. You got the likes of Oxlade-Chamberlain coming back in, Mason Mount coming on the scene. Just think there's good depth there, and I think that they've handled most of these away games really well, England for me.
OK, more European tips coming up in just a sec.
Everything is better when it's bigger. Paddy Power's Same Game Multi allows you to combine a number of selections from a single match into one big bet. Check out the Same Game Multi tab and get building your bet. Terms and conditions apply. 18+, begambleaware.org.
Right then, a potentially massive game for the Republic of Ireland takes place on Monday night at 7:45 when they receive Denmark. Basically, Ireland win and they are in. Denmark very much involved in a three-way tussle for qualification with Switzerland as well. Prices will change because obviously there's fixtures taking place before this one. But as things stand, Paddy Power go 5-2 the Republic, even money Denmark, and it's 21-10 the draw. Dan, what do you think will happen in this? It's a blockbuster, this, isn't it?
It is. I just think it would have been a lot easier for Ireland if they'd not needed to win this game. It looks highly likely they are going to have to win this game. As long as Switzerland beat Georgia, Denmark beat Gibraltar in the first round of games, they're probably going to have to win this game, and that means they've got to actually do something they haven't really done in any of the big games in this group, which is attack. And if you attack Denmark, as we saw when they played them in the crucial World Cup qualifier, Denmark actually hosed up, didn't they? Won 5-1 there in the key game there in the playoff. I just think that if the game opens up, which it'll have to, Ireland have got to take a chance at some stage. You got the likes of Christian Eriksen. He's going to open up. The spaces will open up, and I think Denmark will run out winners.
What do you think, Liam?
I'll go for a draw in this one. Ireland obviously know they need to win this game. They have capacity to do so, but Denmark have lost only one of their last 33 matches, a run which included drawing all 4 of their games at the 2018 World Cup, and I think a stalemate could be the way to go again here. Ireland obviously very strong defensively under McCarthy, as we know, and they were still in the game against Switzerland last time out until a Seamus Coleman red card in 76th minute kind of tipped the balance of that one. I think the thing I worry about with Ireland is their sort of most exciting young bright spark in the final third, Aaron Connolly, is out for this one. So I don't know if they've got that much going forward that can then hurt Denmark. And interestingly, you look at their recent meetings, these two teams drew in both of their Nations League meetings and in the reverse qualifying fixtures. So they've kind of played each other quite a lot recently, and those last 3 meetings have all been draws, and I think that could actually be the way to go again.
OK, chaps, between Thursday and Tuesday, there are, I think, something like 50 qualifying games taking place. So there's a lot to pick out. I think, Dan, you've focused your attention on the weekend's domestic action, haven't you? So, Liam, what have you got for us from the other Euro qualifiers?
Yeah, I really like the look of Bosnia to beat Italy at 15-8. Italy have been absolutely untouchable in qualifying, 7 wins out of 7. But I think they could take their foot off the pedal now that they're qualified. And Bosnia playing at home, I think they look overpriced. They've won their last 2 home games, Bosnia, by an aggregate scoreline of 9-1. And they've actually got Edin Dzeko back in the fold now, and obviously he's their main man up top. And they pushed Italy very close in Turin. They engineered 14 shots in what was a narrow 2-1 loss in that game. So I think, Bosnia to beat Italy.
And that's on Friday, and it kicks off at, I think, 7:45, I'm right there?
Yep, that sounds right.
OK.
And
what else you got?
Israel to beat Poland is my other one. Poland already qualified as well. Israel pretty much out of the automatic qualification race, but they've still got a slight chance. But I just really like the look of the way they've been playing recently. They've beaten Austria at home, as well as absolutely destroying the minnows Latvia against. They had 28 shots in that game, and they have some very exciting players going forward. Moenes de Boer, who earned a move to Sevilla in the summer, but more prominently Eren Jahavi, who's still top of Euro 2020 qualifying with 11 goals. Quite remarkable for a team which looked like they might not qualify. And so, yeah, those two again might be worth a look in the scorer markets, but Israel to beat Poland would be the other one.
OK, if you're hankering for domestic action, this weekend it is strictly lower division only, but hopefully Dan's got some good tips for us.
I've got one from League One, one from League Two. The League One tip is relegation battle. Bolton at home to MK Dons. Bolton obviously had that points deduction. They're still -2 at the moment, but their performances since they've reshaped the squad and the youngsters aren't playing so much now are improving. The last 2 league games, they won 2-0 at Bristol Rovers and 2-1 at home to Fleetwood, who really are a team that could win promotion. So that's a big improvement. MK Dons have got 1 point from their last 9 league games. They're in a shocking run. Paul Tisdale has left now. Russell Martin came in, has been appointed as he was playing for them, but he's given up the playing playing now. He's just going to focus on managing, but I think he's got a big mess to sort out. So Bolton at 6-4 there look big. In League Two, you got Forest Green, who are top of the league, home to Plymouth, who are 13th. Now, sometimes the obvious ones, don't come in, but Forest Green are 13-10 when they're top at home to the 13th place team. Plymouth's last game, the last league game, they lost 4-0 away to Exeter in what is down there. That is a huge derby. I mean, to lose that game in such a manner, it's going to take a bit of recovering from, I believe. Forest Green going really, really well. Won the last 2 league games, got the best defensive record in the division. Great price for me.
Lovely stuff. Let's get the naps.
This will not be beaten.
Liam, what have you got?
Yeah, so I'm going to go Austria -1 goal on the handicap against North Macedonia, so we're to win by 2 goals or more. North Macedonia given a good account of themselves in the European qualification, but they've just looked completely out of their depth when they've come up against bigger sides. Lost to Poland 2-0 last time out, conceded 20 shots in that game. Lost 4-1 at home in the reverse fixture. Austria failed to register a single shot on target in that game. Austrians have some excellent players going forward, Marcel Sabitzer and Valentin Lazaro in particular, and I think they can help them rack up the goals in Vienna.
OK, the 2020 European champions will be Belgium, and they can show why by beating Russia at 10-11. Dan, what's your nap?
I'm going to stick with the Football League. Going to go for League One Blackpool, who are 8th at home to Wimbledon, who are 20th. 4-6 looks big enough price to me. Beat Peterborough 4-3 at home in their last home game. They're only 1 point outside the playoffs. Wimbledon have lost 7 of their last 8 away games. The exception was away to Southend, who are a shocking team, really, the poorest team, I think, in that division. And Wimbledon are missing key players as well. Will Nightingale, important centre-back for them, still out. Max Sanders, midfielder on loan for Brighton, he's still out as well. So tough game for Wimbledon there.
OK, so hopefully the Blackpool, Belgium, Austria -1 handicap treble will be enhanced on the Paddy Power website before those games take place. Thank you very much indeed, chaps. Don't forget, if you enjoy these shows, please make sure you rate, review and subscribe wherever you are listening, which of course includes Spotify now. Join us next weekend. The domestic football is back. We will have all the best bets in the Premier League and beyond.
Friends, or maybe more. Earn a 20 quid free bet for every friend you refer to Paddy Power, thanks to our Friends with Benefits programme. Log into your Paddy Power account and share your referral link to get started. Terms and conditions apply. 18+, begambleaware.org.